Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're making a farmer's casserole. Now this is a really basic, really easy casserole that you can make ahead of time. So it's great for the holidays when you've got company. You can mix this up at night, cover it, put it in the refrigerator, pop it out and put it in the oven the next morning, and kind of while you're getting ready for the day and enjoying your coffee, it can bake, and there's almost no mess when you make this because you actually mix it in your casserole dish. Now, because this is such a basic recipe, you can add a lot of things to it. What I am using in mine today, and kind of the basics that you need, is I have about 4 cups of hash browns. You can use fresh potatoes and grate them up. You can use about half a bag of the frozen hash browns. If you're weighing it out, you want somewhere between 12 and 16 ounces of potatoes, or about 4 cups. You want a cup of diced ham, or you can put 2 cups of diced ham in it. Just kind of depends on what you got and the crowd you're feeding. And it would also be good made with bacon or even sausage crumbles, or some kind of pork substitute if you don't do pork. And I have 4 eggs. Now the eggs are what thicken this. I've got a can of evaporated milk. And I said this is a good recipe for, the holidays and winter and all that stuff. If you're cooking over the holidays, a lot of times you can't keep enough milk in your refrigerator for folks to drink when they're coming over, especially if you're serving a lot of people. So keeping the evaporated milk for wintertime cooking and holiday cooking is great, but you don't have to have evaporated milk. You need a cup and a half of milk. Any kind of milk will work. I would probably try to do whole milk, but if you don't have that, skim milk will do it because it's the eggs that thicken it and the starch in the potatoes. I've got about half of an onion here chopped up. You want somewhere between a 1/4 cup and 3 cups of onions. It just kind of depends on what you like. I honestly don't think you can get too many onions in this because the onions and the potatoes, they just go together. And then you want at least a cup of cheese. You can put more, and you can use any kind. You could do cheddar or pepper jack to spice it up a little bit. And you could put like hot peppers or bell peppers or anything like this you wanted to in it. You could add a little bit of some kind of hot spice. I'm just going to use a little salt and pepper in mine. And like I said, you mix this up in your casserole dish. You do want to spray your casserole dish because you're using the eggs and the cheese. Or you want to wipe it with a little oil or a little butter or something, but put something on it so it's not so hard to clean. And just kind of dump your taters in there. Now, you can layer this if you're going to put it in the fridge. If you're going to put it in the fridge overnight, just put everything in there in layers. But if you're going to bake it and put it right in the oven, go ahead and kind of mix your onions in your potatoes a little bit, because that kind of helps the flavors mesh. Now, if you're, like I said, putting it in the fridge overnight, that's not really so necessary. But if you're just going to mix it up and bake it, you're going to have to kind of mix things up just a little bit. And if you're layering it, the next thing you want to do is your cup of cheese, which is about half of one of these little packs. I don't measure it, and you can do more if you want to. Now, if you're just throwing it in the oven, again, I would mix this in just a tiny bit. That kind of gets the flavors down in the taters, so you don't have a big old chunk of taters with no flavor in them. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add my ham. Oops, I'm going to need this bowl. Go ahead and add my ham on there, and I actually didn't quite have a cup. I was close. And close is good enough when you're making a casserole. And kind of spread that out. And again, because I'm not going to be putting this in the fridge overnight, I'm going to kind of get it down in there a little bit, get a little of the cheese mixed in with it. And, if it's sitting overnight, you don't have to do this. You can just dump it in there in layers. There ain't no need for this. All right, now the one thing you do have to mix up, whether you're baking it now or you're going to let it sit overnight, is you got to mix up your eggs and your milk. So I'm going to dump my eggs in my bowl here that I have my taters in, so I got room to mix. And like I said, a cup and a half of any milk will work. And if you are dairy free, I have not made this with a milk substitute, but I'm sure you could use a milk substitute and, you know, some non-dairy cheese for the cheese. All right, and we're gonna mix this in here. And now, whatever spices you want in this, whether you're just using salt and pepper like I am, or you're gonna add in a little bit of something hot, you know, any kind of hot pepper or pepper spice blend would be good in this. It's ham, taters, and cheese, basically. I'm gonna do like a heap and half teaspoon of pepper. Do however much you want, or don't do any at all. And salt is to taste. I think I saw some recipes that said like a quarter teaspoon if you were on a low salt diet, you know, but for me, I don't over salt food, but a quarter of a teaspoon with all those potatoes and eggs, that's not enough. But you do however much you want. I would do somewhere between a quarter teaspoon and a teaspoon, and you can add a little salt on the table. Anyway, whatever spices you mix in it, mix that up with your eggs and your milk. And then we're just going to pour this mixture over our casserole. And the pepper will kind of tend to settle, so as I pour that last little bit out, I give it another little stir. And that's all there is to this. I mean, there's no complicated ingredients in there. If you could use the canned ham in this, or even substitute something like the Spam in it if you're having to make this, you know, completely out of the pantry, and, you know, maybe you had a winter storm, or heaven forbid something like what just happened in Florida with the hurricane. And please keep those folks in Florida in your prayers. I had a lot of family down there, and they were all in Tampa, which fared pretty well. But we were pretty concerned for a few days there for all them. Okay, that's it. Now you can either put this in the fridge, cover it up tight, put it in the fridge, pop it in the oven in the morning, or you can put it in the oven now. Like say you want to do it for after church or maybe a brunch or something, you can mix it up earlier in the morning even. You don't have to do it overnight. And you want to put it in your oven. Now, baking times are going to vary on this, anywhere from 45 minutes to like an hour and 10 minutes. The deal is you have to cook it until this center is set and those eggs are firm. If they're not, it's going to be runny in the middle, and that's not going to be good. Nobody's going to want to get that spoonful. You can do a toothpick, but you can tell. I mean, if you touch it and the center is still soft and squishy, it ain't done. Leave it in there and let it cook longer in a 350-degree oven until it's set. Now, this recipe will fit in a loaf pan. Don't do it in a loaf pan. You want at least a 9x9 casserole dish to put this in. If you do it in something deep like a loaf pan, what you're going to end up is that much potato, and then all your flavor is going to be on the top, and it's not as good that way, and it takes a long time to cook. If I was going to double this, because I had a whole bunch of people to feed around the holidays, you know, and I wanted to use a couple pounds of hash browns and stuff, I would still bake it in 2 dishes, because if you bake it in 1 dish, you're going to have a hard time getting that center to set. But it's a very easy recipe to double. Just put it in 2 dishes. You can also put it in your little 8x13 or 8x11 Pyrex dishes. It's good in those. I think that, yeah, they're 8x11. So any kind of dish like that. But we're just going to put it in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour and maybe 10 minutes, depending on your oven and depending on how thick your casserole dish is. And in 45 minutes, we have this gorgeous casserole that is browned on the top. And you could, if you wanted to, add a little more cheese on top and you know, even once after it comes out of the oven, you could add just a little bit more cheese on top and melt it, or you could leave it in the oven until a little bit more cheese melts. It's up to you. You do want to let this sit at least 5 minutes. That gives it time to kind of release from the pan, and it also gives it time to finish setting up. And you can see mine is set. It bounces, it doesn't jiggle, it springs back. I don't leave an indentation when I poke it. That's what you want. This is going to be one of those really, really good ones for the holidays, when you have folks coming over all between Thanksgiving and New Year's, because it can be made ahead. It's basic ingredients, and when you cook basic ingredients, everybody likes it. And folks that want spicy stuff can add hot sauce. You can serve this with fresh fruit. You could even serve it with something like pancakes or French toast, or biscuits would be great with this. And I'm going to link some of that stuff in the end of the video, and there'll be some of those recipes also in the description. So if you need recipes for some of that stuff, we got them. Hang on to this one. It's a good one, it's a keeper, and it's super, super easy. We're kind of entering that season of Thanksgiving, and I want to share Psalm 18, 1 and 2 with you. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, my high tower. If you don't know the Lord in that way, and if you don't know His love, I want to encourage you, before this holiday season passes, before another year ends, to seek Him and get to know Him that way. Because when you have a love for the Lord, and you have been forgiven, and you know that the Creator of the universe loves you, it truly changes your life. And it doesn't just change it in a little way or just part of it. It changes everything when you know your Father. I want to thank you so very much for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. If you have not already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. Share this video with your friends. And until next time, remember to put God first.